Would you date someone who's trans?
No.
Would you date someone who's black?
Maybe. What's their credit rating?
Would you date someone who's fat?
Are they big enough to get handicap parking?
Would you date someone who's disabled?
Same deal, like with parking. I really think you need to be discredited for going from transgendered to black, as if it's the same type of marginalization. That's ridiculous. That's saying, would you date an axe murderer? No. What about a Native American?
In this video, I want to talk about our other biases. Let's start with trans people. Would you date a trans person, honestly?
No.
Think about it for a second.
No. No chance in hell.
Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
It's not discriminatory to acknowledge what gives me an erection. As if I can go up to a lesbian, blow me. No? Fucking bigot. Why? Because I have a penis? What discrimination? Discrimination is a good thing. It's the practice of making distinctions. As if you could just go up, hey, you were accepted to Oxford on a Fulbright scholarship, but you can always fall back on Onondaga Community College. Don't be discriminatory.
I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating a trans person is that they won't have the genitals that they expect. Because we associate penises with men and vaginas with women, some people think they could never date a trans man with a vagina or a trans woman with a penis. But I think that people are more than their genitals. I think that you could feel attraction to someone without knowing what's between their legs. And if you were to say that you're only attracted to people with vaginas or people with penises, it really feels like you're reducing people just to their genitals. You're kind of objectifying them, but you're thinking of them more as genitals than objects. So I guess you're kind of genitalifying them?
Mr. Treehorn treats objects like women, man.
I'm not summing up the composition of a person based on their genitals. You use the word dating. You're summing up human interaction in one very particular category. There's tons of different relationships. There's friends, family, parents, enemies, co-workers, strangers on the street. There's tons of different relationships that people have. But when you talk about dating, it inherently involves having some interest in the other person's genitals. It doesn't mean that's all they are. People like to connect on many levels, but at some point there's a level of intimacy which involves that. That's the idea of dating, is it's a unique person I get to spend my time with. We get to grow together as a couple on a friendship level. We have inside jokes. It's very intimate, and at some point we also have sexual relations. Don't reduce all relationships to dating or intimate relationships. Because when you're talking about dating, yes, people's genitals make a difference. Believe it or not, to everybody on the globe. This social neutrality and political correctness has gone awry if you think sexual interest needs to be opened up. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. You can't help the fact that certain people arouse you and other people don't arouse you. You should be able to say that openly. I'm attracted to whomever. And no, I'm not attracted to transgendered people. I am not attracted to people who were born male that transitioned to being female.
Oh my God! Einhorn is a man!
We have implicit biases that we were raised with.
I'm also not interested in people who were born female that are now growing stubble on their face because they're taking hormones. It's just not something that sexually arouses me. It doesn't mean that I can't be friends with them. It doesn't mean that I can't be co-workers with them or look to them for insight or have profound conversations with them that are enlightening and opening. To me, it just means that I don't want to blow them. And that's what interests me sexually. I like going down on girls who were born girls and remain girls. That's what sexually entices me. I can't change that. It's innate. I've always felt that way as far back as I can remember. Look, people are going to be judged. People are going to judge you. People always judge other people. Hell, I'll judge somebody based on their name tag at a cocktail party. Your name is Princess and you actually wrote that on a name tag? Okay, I'm going to leave now. People discriminate against me all the time because I don't fit the paradigm for the lead role in a movie unless it's knocked up, where Seth Rogen looks like me. It's just some kind of burnout guy with an afro, and that's the paradigm in which I live. I'm not sought after sexually as much as other people. Same thing with transgendered people. They're not universally sought after, but there are people out there looking for us, meaning the sexually marginalized and transgendered people. I am what I would call a niche market. There are certain people who find me attractive. They're few and far in between, but when it works out, it's great. And it makes it so much easier on myself because I don't have to go to a bar and hit on people because it never works. And you really shouldn't be encouraging people to drop their discrimination. Discrimination is not a horrible word by definition. Discrimination is just making distinctions, which is good. This is a building, this is a car. You can't drive this building. This is a house. You can't drive this house unless you live in a trailer park and your house has wheels and it's not on cinder blocks.
Because these dating preferences are ultimately harmful to people who don't fit into your box of what a conventionally attractive person looks like. It makes people feel isolated, alone, and unwanted to hear that they're universally unattractive to people.
You're assuming my motivations, and to be honest, it discredits your entire argument. You're speaking of being objective, not subjective, and yet you're just sending out you, as in the broad you, whoever happens to be watching your YouTube channel is attracted to the conventionally attractive. And the truth is, you have a lot of views, and a lot of those people aren't attracted to the conventionally attractive. So you shouldn't assert that because it discredits your whole argument. You're making assumptions. You're being prejudiced. I just feel that transsexual, asexual, non-binary, androgynous is the flavor of the month. And people people of all ages, the middle schoolers have blogs talking about the pronouns they prefer. I prefer this pronoun. The fact is, like, have you even learned pronouns in language arts yet? You're 12 years old. It's really not a time to be sexually precarious. But the simple thing is, let's get down to some substantive conversation. Forget your identity, because it doesn't move the conversation forward. Prejudice is the closest thing to prognostication. It is invaluable as a human cognitive task.
Fucking freak. And I don't smoke a cigarette after sex. I smoke roughly 20 cartons. That's about the amount of time before somebody's desperate enough to sleep with me again. Fuck it, I'll smoke a cigarette before sex. Whatever. Either way, I'm paying for both. Who fucking cares? I'll smoke a cigar. I don't give a shit. Why are you smoking that? In case it's a boy. Fucking, obviously, it's a joke. A prostitute is not having my baby. I don't really want a miniature version of myself crossed with somebody dumb enough to sleep with me.